List of Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug, and Cat Noir characters. These characters appear in the animated series Miraculous, Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. Main characters. Marinette Dupain Cheng / Ladybug. Marinette Dupain Cheng aka Ladybug, voiced by Christina V in the English version and by Anouk Hautbois in the French version, is a 15-year-old bluish-black-haired, blue-eyed, budding fashion designer at College Francois DuPont, and her family operates a renowned bakery. Marinette is beautiful, sweet, joyful, clumsy, and a bit awkward, but respected by her peers, and is extremely intelligent despite her occasional clumsy ways. She is in love with Adrien, to whom she can barely speak to out of nervousness. Her best friend Alya often tries to help Marinette to declare her love to him, only for it to end in failure. Chosen by Master Fu as the keeper of the Ladybug Miraculous, she can transform into the valiant and vivacious superheroine Ladybug with the help of her Kwame, Tikki, similar to Captain Marvel, to defend Paris from Hawkmoth's villains with her crime-fighting partner Cat Noir. As Ladybug, aware of the nature of the situations that she faces, she's more serious and she brushes off Cat Noir's advances on her, unaware that Cat Noir's alter ego is Adrien Agreste, but she does later come to truly value her friendship with Cat Noir, him being someone she can fully trust. Her crime-fighting tool is a yo-yo with nearly endless string. With it, she can use her power of creation, lucky charm that can create an object, most of the time to be used with other key objects to defeat the villains. Marinette's resourcefulness and her wit enable her to figure out how to use the lucky charm. The yo-yo also captures and purifies the Akuma butterflies, after which she has the created object turn into energy to summon her power, Miraculous Ladybug, that removes the harm the villains caused and restores everything to normal. And in the end of the last episode of Season 3, Miracle Queen Marinette / Ladybug became the new guardian of the Miracle Box. Adrien Agreste / Cat Noir. Adrien Agreste aka Cat Noir, Black Cat, voiced by Bryce Papenbrook, the English version, and Benjamin Ballin in the French version, is Marinette's classmate whom she has a huge crush on, though he only sees Marinette as a notable friend. Adrien comes from a wealthy family and is a popular fashion model for the clothing company of his father, Gabriel, though he laments the poor relationship he has with him. His mother, meanwhile, has inexplicably disappeared. Adrien is kind, loyal, sensitive, and well-liked, and hangs out often with his best friend Nino. Chosen by Master Fu to be the keeper of the Black Cat Miraculous, he can transform into the superhero Cat Noir, French Chat Noir, Black Cat, with the help of his Kwame, Plague, to assist Ladybug in saving Paris from Hawkmoth's villains. He has been deeply in love with Ladybug since they first met, when he saw her rescue Mylene and capture the Akuma at the same time, despite not knowing her true identity, and while at the same time uses the opportunity to be more rebellious and free, unsuccessfully tries to impress her as Chat Noir by being flirtatious and making bad, mostly cat-themed puns. His weapon that he uses to fight the villains is a multifunctional staff and his special power of destruction, Cataclysm, which allows him to destroy an object that he touches with a swipe of his paw, such as causing a metal gate to rust over until weak enough to break open. In the episode Reflect All, Adrien temporarily uses Ladybug's Miraculous and becomes Mr. Bug, the Adrien version of Ladybug. In the episode Chat Blanc, it is revealed from the future that he is akumatized by Hawkmoth and becomes Chat Blanc, an evil white version of him that uncontrollably releases an infinite power, devastating the whole city and splitting the moon, leaving him all alone in his world. In Disparata, he uses the snake Miraculous to become Aspic, as Ladybug chooses him thinking he didn't ever become a superhero. In Miracle Queen, he also used the snake Miraculous combined with the cat Miraculous. His transformation call is Plague Claws Out. Tikki. Tikki, voiced by Mela Lee in the English version and Marina Nenmacher in the French version, is the Kwame of creation who enables Marinette to transform into Ladybug. Tikki is a small floating humanoid with a large head, big eyes, and a red body with large black spots on her head, resembling a ladybug. She believes strongly in Marinette, and she gives her advice to be the best that she can be, regardless of transformation. She eventually reveals to Marinette that she is more than 13 billion years old and had watched over every ladybug since the beginning. Like Ladybug, aware of the nature of the situations she faces, she's more serious and brushes off Plague's advances of her. During Marinette's transformation, Tikki inhabits the Ladybug Miraculous, a pair of earrings worn by Marinette. Astruck has written on Twitter that Tikki means happiness. Plague. Plague, voiced by Max Mittelman in the English version and Thierry Kazazian in the French version, is the Kwame of destruction who enables Adrien to transform into Cat Noir. Plague looks much like Tikki, but with a black body, green eyes, and pointed ears, resembling a black cat. Unlike Tikki, however, Plague is sarcastic and lazy, in a parallel to Cat Noir's relationship with Ladybug. His favorite food is camembert, a stinky cheese. During his charge's transformation as Cat Noir, he inhabits the black cat Miraculous, a ring worn by Adrien on his right hand. Gabriel, Agreste / Hawk Moth. Hawk Moth, French, Le Papillon, lit. The Butterfly, voiced by Keith Silverstein in the English version and Antoine Thome in the French version, is the series' main antagonist. His true identity is the famous fashion designer Gabriel Agreste, Adrien's business-like demeanor. Having acquired both the Butterfly and Peacock Miraculous prior to the series, he uses the powers of the former's Kwame Noru to create supervillains with his corrupted Akuma butterflies. He selects those consumed by their negative emotions, using them to lure out Ladybug and Cat Noir, take their Miraculouses and give them to him, to change a past event regarding his wife Emily. As Hawk Moth, his transformation call is Noru Dark Wings Rise. And he uses a cane sword that stores Akuma that avoid capture. During the second season, he assumes the form of the Collector to conceal his identity as Hawk Moth, with his partner Mayura. In Season 4, he unifies Noru and Dusu, and becomes Shadow Moth. Alya Césaire / Rena Rouge. Alya Césaire a.k. a Rena Rouge Red Fox, voiced by Carrie Karanen in the English version and Fanny Block in the French version, is Marinette's best friend who typically wears a plaid shirt and black glasses. She constantly helps Marinette with her problems, most of which pertain to Marinette attempting and failing to speak to Adrien. She is often seen encouraging and helping her to talk to him. She aspires to be a journalist and is in charge of the school blog. She is a big fan of superheroes and, like her peers, is a massive fan of Ladybug. She even operates a fan site known as the Ladyblog, but like everyone else, is unaware of Marinette's superhero identity. Alya has on occasion been transformed into a superhero or supervillain. In the episode Lady Wi-Fi, after she was suspended from school, she is influenced by Hawk Moth and becomes the smartphone-wielding supervillain Lady Wi-Fi, who can fire different icons such as pause and lock. In the Season 2 episode Sapotes, she temporarily receives the Fox Miraculous from Ladybug and meets its Kwame of illusion tricks, and transforms into the Fox-themed superhero Rena Rouge. She returns as Rena in the episodes Siren, Catalyst, and Mayura. When Rena Rouge is akumatized, she turns into Rena Rage. In the Season 3 episode Oblivio, she and Nino are akumatized to become a joint supervillain as Oblivio, a supervillain who can erase the victim's memories, and has a purple silhouette body. Later, she returns as Rena in the episodes Miraculous and Miracle Queen: The Battle of the Miraculous Part 2. In the episode Felix, Alya, Juleka and Rose were affected by a disguised Felix's hostilities, allowing Moth to akumatize them back into Lady Wi-Fi, Reflecta, and Princess Fragrance as the Punisher's trio. Rena's weapon is a flute that doubles as a staff. Rena's special power, Mirage, allows her to create illusions. Rena's transformation call is Tricks, Let's Pounce. French, Tricks, transform moi. Tricks, transform me. Nino Lahiffe / Carapace. Nino Lahiffe a.k. A Carapace voiced by Ben Diskin Seasons 1-3 in the English version, Zeno Robinson Miraculous World, New York, United Hirose present, and Alexander Nguyen in the French version is Adrien's best friend who dresses in skate punk fashion, typically seen with headphones around his neck and a cap on his head. He DJ at the school's radio station. Nino is fond of Marinette, but ultimately discovers that he has more in common with Alya, and they become a couple. In the episode The Bubbler, he is influenced by Moth and becomes the supervillain called the Bubbler who can create and manipulate bubbles. In the Season 2 episode Anansi, he temporarily receives the turtle Miraculous from Ladybug and meets its Kwame of Protection ways and transforms into the turtle-themed superhero Carapace. His weapon is a shield and his special power, Shelter, allows him to create a force field. His transformation call is Ways, Shellon. French, Ways, transform moi. Ways, transform me. Carapace returns in episodes Catalyst and Mayura. When Carapace is akumatized, he turns into Shell Shock. In the Season 3 episode Oblivio, he and Alya were akumatized again into one supervillain as Oblivio, a purple silhouette villain who can erase the victim's memories. Later, he returns as Carapace in the episodes Miraculous and Party Crasher. Asked about Alya and Nino's ethnicity, Astruc wrote on Twitter that one of them was from Reunion, and later wrote that Alya was from Martinique. He received the turtle Miraculous from Ladybug, originally Master Fu had. His powers can protect and form a shield. Chloé Bourgeois / Queen Bee. Chloé Bourgeois a.k. a Queen Bee voiced by Cella Victor in the English version and Marie Chevalot in the French version is the mayor's daughter. Although Chloé can come off as rude and spoiled, she is extremely hilarious. She often comes up with clever insults for people, especially her classmates, though these classmates cannot take a joke. She has a friendly, flirty relationship with Adrien, or as she calls him Adrikins, since childhood, and often tries to charm him, resulting in a constant rivalry with Marinette for his affections. Like the other students, she has no knowledge of Ladybug's identity, and is a big fan of Ladybug, often trying to take pictures with her. She even has a Ladybug costume that she uses in private to imitate her, which results in Alya believing she is the real Ladybug, until she gets akumatized into Lady Wi-Fi. In the episode Antibug, she herself is influenced by Moth and becomes the supervillain Antibug, who has the same abilities as Ladybug, things like Lucky Charm, but darker, and wants revenge on Ladybug for pushing her aside. In the episode Ladybug and Cat Noir Origins, Part 1, it is revealed that she has been classmates with Marinette for 4 consecutive years. In the Season 2 episode Style Queen, she finds the bee Miraculous after her mother, Audrey, is restored from being Style Queen and meets its Kwame of Subjection Pollen, and in the next episode Queen Wasp becomes the bee-themed superheroine Queen Bee. Her weapon is a spinning top, and her special power, Venom, allows her to paralyze others. Her transformation call is Pollen Buzz On. She also became influenced by Hawk Moth again and becomes the supervillain Queen Wasp, with unlimited power to sting people into paralyzed statues. As of the Season 3 episode Miraculous, she is no longer Queen Bee and gradually starts to lose faith in Ladybug. In the Season 3 finale, Chloe/Queen Bee has turned against Ladybug and joined Hawk Moth and Mayura on their team of supervillains. Hawk Moth then akumatizes her into Miracle Queen, an upgraded armored version of Queen Wasp, who sends out an army of bees to brainwash all of Paris. But in the aftermath, in which Ladybug saves the day again, Chloe is no longer a fan of Ladybug, not because of Ladybug's neglect, but because Hawk Moth and Mayura were able to manipulate Chloe into joining their side. This left Ladybug feeling guilty. Major recurring characters. Tom Dupain. Tom Dupain, voiced by Christopher Corey Smith in the English version and Marshall Lemieux in the French version, is Marinette's father and the proprietor of his family bakery, the Tom and Sabine Boulangerie Patisserie. In Weird Ad, he is akumatized by Hawk Moth into the titular guard dog supervillain capable of increasing strength and manipulating thorny vines. Sabine Cheng. Sabine Cheng, voiced by Faust Sampler in the English version and Jessie Lambot in the French version, is Marinette's mother. Even though she doesn't get akumatized so far, she does have her quirks. In Troublemaker, she is able to show her fighting demonstration with her broom after being touched in the back by Troublemaker. Also in Befana, she got hit by the white power that turns her into Befana's angel minions, which consists of a white robe and mask, including using wings to fly. In Ladybug, she along with her daughter almost got akumatized by both Scarlet Moth and Catalyst into Verity Queen, but Catalyst succumbs to exhaustion caused by the peacock Miraculous, distracting Scarlet Moth and canceling the procedure. Master Fu. Master Wang Fu, Chinese, Wang Fu, or Master Fu Wang in Western order, is a former healer, the great guardian of the Miraculous. He gave Marinette Dupain Cheng and Adrien Agreste their Miraculouses to stop Hawk Moth and his villain's evil doings. Master Fu is a short, Chinese man with dark brown eyes. His hair is gray and he has a mustache and goatee. He wears a red Hawaiian shirt with a white hibiscus flower pattern. Wang Fu is 186 years old, making him the oldest known human character in the series. Long ago, Fu was among many monks specifically trained to safekeep the Miraculouses at the Chinese Guardian's Temple, until Fu misused the peacock Miraculous and created a centimonster that resulted in the temple being destroyed, the peacock and butterfly Miraculouses, and the grimoire spellbook being lost, all three now being in Hawk Moth's possession. His longevity is not linked to his Miraculous but to his lifestyle. In Miracle Queen, Master Fu loses all of his memories after giving ownership of the Chinese Miracle Box to Marinette Dupain Cheng. Master Fu reunites with Marion, and together they depart Paris. He returns to Paris in Season 4, in the episode Furious Fu, when he gets akumatized after he is confronted by Su Han and his cane gets stolen. But after he is restored by Ladybug, he makes amends with Su Han, who apologizes for his reckless behavior from before and once again leaves Paris. Ways, voiced by Christopher Corey Smith in the English version and Frank Torgman in the French version, is the Kwame the Turtle Miraculous, a bracelet that grants the power of protection. Normally residing with Master Fu as his Kwame companion, he is loaned out to Nino to enable him to transform into Carapace. In the episode of Heart Hunter The Battle of the Miraculous Part 1, Master Fu uses the Turtle Miraculous to transform into Jade Turtle. Adrien's bodyguard. Adrien's bodyguard, voiced by Ezra Weiss in the English version and Gilbert Levy in the French version, is the unnamed, tough, and towering bodyguard and chauffeur of Adrien, who nicknames him Gorilla. This is the only character that doesn't talk at all, but makes up with his grunt noise and expressions. He cares for Adrien's safety and would only leave if Adrien asks him to. In Gorizilla, the bodyguard is acclimatized into the large titular gorilla-themed supervillain who has enormous strength and a keen sense of smell, and does what he can for Moth. Noru, voiced by Ben Diskin in the English version and Marshall Leminu in the French version, is the Kwame of the butterfly Miraculous, a brooch that grants the power of transmission. Since the beginning of the series, Noru enables Gabriel to transform into Moth while his power is abused for evil intentions. He assists Gabriel through force as opposed to willingness. Nathalie Sancoeur/Mayura. Nathalie Sancoeur, voiced by Sabrina Weiss in the English version and Marie Chevalot in the French version, is a French character who is Gabriel Agreste's personal assistant and also knows of his identity as Moth, willfully following him out of romantic feelings. She is also the secondary antagonist in the series. In the two-part Season 2 finale Heroes' Day, she is willingly acclimatized by Gabriel into Catalyst, who can enhance the powers of the other acclimatized villains. She then later uses the peacock Miraculous to transform into Mayura, a peacock-themed supervillain with the power to use corrupted amok feathers to create sentimonster allies for the villains Gabriel creates as Moth. While warning of the detrimental side effects of using the damaged Miraculous, Nathalie expresses her intention to see Gabriel's ambitions realized. Her transformation call is Dosu, spread my feathers. Dosu, voiced by Melissa Fahn in the English version and Fanny Block in the French version, is the Kwame of the peacock Miraculous, a brooch that grants the power of emotion. Of the second season finale, Dosu is used by Nathalie to enable her to transform into Mayura. As the Kwame of emotion, fittingly, Dosu is always emotional, full of energy and dramatic. In the episode of Feast, Master Fu once misused the peacock Miraculous and created a sentimonster that resulted in the temple being devoured. In the episode Miracle Queen, The Battle of the Miraculous Part 2, Gabriel reveals that the peacock Miraculous has been fixed. Su-Han is a character in Season 4. He was the celestial guardian of the Chinese miracle box referred to as the Mother Box and its Miraculous. Minor recurring characters. Students and teachers. Le Chien Kim/King Monkey. Le Chien Kim, also Kim Atcher, voiced by Grant George in the English version and Alexander Nguyen in the French version, is a confident and competitive member of MME Bustier's class. He is good friends with Max and rivals with Alex. Kim also has a crush on Chloé Bourgeois. In Dark Cupid, he is corrupted by Moth after Chloé rejects him and turns into the titular supervillain, an evil winged being whose arrows can replace true love and friendship with pure hate and mean-spirited. In Siren, his friend Ondine tries to confess her love for him, but gets acclimatized. They later go to the movies together, and he likes her instead of Chloé. In Party Crasher, he temporarily receives the monkey Miraculous from Master Fu, meets its Kwame Zapu, and transforms into the monkey-themed superhero King Monkey, French, Roy Singe. King Monkey return in the episode Miracle Queen, The Battle of the Miraculous Part 2. His weapon is a Rui Jingu Bang, and his special power, Uproar, lets him disrupt his opponent's superpowers. His transformation call is Zapu Showtime. Alex Kubdal/Bunnix. Alex Kubdal, voiced by Kira Buckland in the English version, Adeline Chethale in the French version, Season 1, and Marie Nanenmacher Season 2, is a tomboyish and competitive member of MME Bustier's class. She is rivals with Kim. In Timebreaker, she is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain who freezes people, which causes them to fade from existence, with a touch to get the energy to travel back through time. In Time Tagger, it is revealed that the pocket watch passed down through her family is actually the rabbit Miraculous, and that she will wield it as the superhero Bunnix in the future. Her future self's weapon is an umbrella, and her special power burrow lets her travel through time. Later, the future Bunnix returns in Quête Blanche and brings Ladybug to the future where Paris is destroyed by the titular character. Her future self's transformation call is Fluff Clockwise. Kagami Tsurugi/Yuko. Kagami Tsurugi voiced by Faye Mata in the English version and Clara Soares in the French version is a Japanese teen girl who is a new student at College Francois DuPont. In Riposte, Kagami is akumatized by Hawk Moth into the fencing supervillain Riposte, a silver armor samurai villain with the power to slice and cut anything in half with one-armed saber. In Oni-chan, Kagami is akumatized again into the phantom shinobi Oni-chan, and supervillain who follows Lila with a horn on her forehead relentlessly by swapping locations with those who receive her picture message of a horn on their cell phones. In the Season 3 episode Akari Gozen, she temporarily receives the dragon Miraculous from Ladybug and meets its Kwame Long, and transforms into the dragon-themed superhero Yuko. Marinette doesn't like her at first, but they become friends in the episode. Her weapon is a sword, and her special power allows her to change into air, water, or lightning. Her transformation call is Long, Bring the Storm. Yuko returns in the episode Heart Hunter: The Battle of the Miraculous Part 1. She is also romantically interested in Adrien Agreste, and has even attempted to kiss him. Adrien considers her as a good friend, though it is hinted that he may have some feelings for her. Juleka Couffaine/Viperian. Juleka Couffaine, also Couffaine, voiced by Andrew Russell in the English version and Maxime Bauduin in the French version, is older brother of Juleka Couffaine and a new student at College Francois DuPont. He has been in love with Marinette since the first time they met, though she currently considers him as a close friend who comforts her when she is down. In Silencer, Luca is akumatized by Hawk Moth into the voice-stealing supervillain Silencer and confesses his love for Marinette. In Season 4, he gets akumatized as Truth, as well as amicized with his own sentimonster, known as Pharaoh, when Marinette tells him that she cannot say why she leaves every time they are dating. He also finds out that his dad is Jagged Stone by making his mom tell the truth with his new powers. In the Season 3 episode Disparata, he temporarily receives the snake Miraculous from Ladybug and meets its Kwame Sass and transforms into the snake-themed superhero Viperian. His weapon is a lyre, and his special power, Second Chance, lets him rewind time to fix a mistake. His transformation call is Sass Scales Slither. Viperian returns in the episode Miracle Queen: The Battle of the Miraculous Part 2. Marinette considers him a friend, though it is hinted that she has some feelings for him. Max Kant/Pegasus. Max Kant, voiced by Benjamin Diskin Seasons 1-3 in the English version and Marshall Leminu in the French version, is an African-French intelligent and nerdy member of MME Bustier's class. He is best friends with Kim. In Gamer, he is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain who controls a powerful, giant fighting robot. In Robustus, Max created the robot Markov. In Gamer 2.0, he was akumatized again into an upgraded version of Gamer. He abducts the citizens of Paris and forces Ladybug and Cat Noir into a fighting game tournament with former akumatized villains as the playable characters. In the Season 3 episode Star Train, he temporarily receives the horse Miraculous from Ladybug and meets its Kwame Kalki, and transforms into the horse-themed superhero Pegasus French, Pegasus. Pegasus return in the episode Miracle Queen The Battle of the Miraculous Part 2. His weapon is a horseshoe-shaped boomerang and his special power, Voyage, lets him to open up portal to teleport to any location. His transformation call is Kalki Full Gallop. Mylene Haprel. Mylene Haprel, voiced by Jessica G. George in the English version and Jessie Lambot in the French version, is a meek and cordial member of MME Bustier's class. She is dating Ivan. In Horrificator, she is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain that grows more powerful the more feared she is. Mylene and Ivan seem to be taking their relationship to the next level, like introducing each other to their families. Mylene's friends are Alex, Alya, Marinette, Juleka, and Rose. Mylene's dad is a mime who is well known around France for his entertaining shows. It has just been announced that the new Mouse Miraculous holder will indeed be Mylene. Ivan Brule. Ivan Brule, voiced by Max Mittelman in Season 2 in the English version and Frank Torgman in the French version, is an imposing yet kind member of MME Bustier's class. He is dating Mylene. In Ladybug and Cat Noir Origins Part 1, he is corrupted by Hawk Moth into Stoneheart, a super-villainous rock monster who grows in size after taking hits. After Stoneheart was defeated, clones of him are created after Marinette. Ladybug forgets to de-evils the Akuma that akumatized him. This Akuma duplicates itself and touches numerous people, turning them into frozen Stonehearts. In Stoneheart Origins Part 2, he was corrupted by Hawk Moth again because the Akuma wasn't de-evilized. Stoneheart was defeated again with Ladybug de-evilizing the Akuma. Sabrina Raincomprix. Sabrina Raincomprix, voiced by Mary Harrington in Season 1, and Cassandra Lee Morris from Season 2 in the English version and Marie Nanenmacher in the French version, is Chloe's only best friend and her assistant. Chloe often treats Sabrina as her lackey. Sabrina does Chloe's homework for her and runs her errands, and in return, Chloe charms her with expensive, fashionable clothing. She has orange hair and wears glasses. In the episode Antibug, Sabrina was angry at Chloe for ignoring her, and becomes influenced by Hawk Moth, turning into the supervillain Vanisher, who is invisible to the human eye. In Miraculous, she was akumatized into the supervillain Miraculous, and supervillain who is capable of stealing the hero's powers. Struck wrote on Twitter that Chloe, Sabrina, and another classmate named Alex were originally intended to become a trio as a reference to the title characters in the French-Canadian animated series Totally Spies. Juleka Couffaine. Juleka Couffaine, voiced by Aaron Fitzgerald from Season 1 of the English version, Reba Boer in Season 2 in the English version, and Marie Nanenmacher in the French version, is a goth girl who is a quiet and reserved member of MME Bustier's class. She has long black hair with purple tips. She is best friends with Rose. In Reflecta, she is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain, capable of turning people into copies of her. In Reflectall, she was akumatized again, and Mayura created a centimonster called Reflectall, a giant mech that can shoot lasers that turn its victims into copies of Reflecta. In the episode Felix, Alya, Juleka and Rose were affected by a disguised Felix's hostilities, allowing Hawk Moth to akumatize them back into Lady Wi-Fi, Reflecta, and Princess Fragrance as the Punisher's trio. She will be akumatized again into Reflecta, along with Alex as Timebreaker, Alya as Lady Wi-Fi, Mylene as Horrificator, and Rose as Princess Fragrance. Rose Lavalent. Rose Lavalent voiced by Erin Fitzgerald in Season 1 in the English version, Reba Boer from Season 2 in the English version, and Jessie Lambot in the French version is a kind and bubbly member of MME Bustier's class. She is best friends with Juleka Couffaine. In Princess Fragrance, she is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain capable of brainwashing people with her perfume. In the episode Felix, Alya, Juleka and Rose were affected by a disguised Felix's hostilities, allowing Hawk Moth to accumatize them back into Lady Wi-Fi, Reflecta, and Princess Fragrance as the Punisher's trio. She will be acclimatized again in Season 4 along with Alex, Alya, Mylene, and Juleka. Nathaniel Kurtzberg. Nathaniel Kurtzberg voiced by Michael Sinterniklaas in the English version and by Frank Torgman in the French version is an Jewish French, who is a shy nerdy boy and an artistic member of MME Bustier's class. In Evillustrator, after admitting he loves Marinette, he is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain capable of both bringing anything that he draws to life, erasing any object. He had crush on Marinette in Season 1, but later in Season 2, it is revealed that he no longer has a crush on Marinette and sees her as a good friend. Also in Season 2, it is revealed that since the time she saved his life, Nathaniel has had developed feelings for Ladybug. Marc Anciel. Marc Anciel voiced by Kyle McCarley in the English version and Alexander Nguyen in the French version is the scene kid who is a student at College Francois DuPont. In Reverser, Marc is acclimatized by Hawk Moth into the inverting supervillain Reverser, whose paper planes can alter people's personalities into the opposite direction. He and Nathaniel become friends and team up to write a comic book. Marc and Nathaniel are hinted to be a couple, as in Frozer they are among the canon couples Adrien is looking at. Lila Rossi. Lila Rossi voiced by Lisa K. Jennings in the English version and Clara Soares in the French version is an Italian without the accent teenage girl who is sociopathic and the daughter of Italian diplomats who moved to Paris in the Season 1 finale. She is a compulsive liar and manipulator who bears a vendetta for Ladybug after being exposed for lying about being a superhero to get to Adrien. This leads to Gabriel turning her into Volpina, a supervillain imitation of Rena Rouge. In Season 3, she is briefly turned into the shape-shifting supervillain Chameleon, who can turn into anyone she wants by kissing them, putting them to sleep. Lila becomes a recurring antagonist and formally meets Gabriel at the end of the episode Oni-chan. In the episode Ladybug, Hawk Moth senses the shock and despair of everyone who trusted Marinette after Lila accuses her of stealing her synthetic fox pendant and shoving her down the stairs, causing Mr. Damocles to expel Marinette. Alya sets out to prove Marinette's innocence as Marinette is forced to work with her father in the bakery. Afterwards, Adrien threatens Lila into proving Marinette's innocence by confessing to Mr. Damocles. After being tricked into believing that Lila had a disease that causes her to lie about what happened, Mr. Damocles allowed Marinette to go back to school. But Lila still holds out on having revenge on Marinette in the future for her having a crush on Adrien. Caline Bustier. Caline Bustier voiced by Dorothy Ilias-Fawn in the English version and Jessie Lambot in the French version is the teacher for Marinette and Adrien's class, who teaches French and literature. In Zombizoo, she is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain capable of turning her victims into love zombies with a kiss. In Ladybug, MS, Bustier is acclimatized into Zombizoo again by Scarlet Moth when Lila causes events that cause Mr. Damocles to expel Marinette. Kwamis. Fairy-like personifications of abstract concepts with animal-like features that were initially unable to interact with tangible beings until a Chinese mage created the Miraculous to allow them to interact with the physical plane. Kwamis use the Miraculous to transform their holders into animal-themed super beings with a fraction of their full power. While having a desire to do good, some Kwamis like Noru and Dosu end up being used by villainous holders and are forced to aid them. Such precautions were set so that even if a Kwami can sense each other's presence, they cannot reveal the identity of other Miraculous holders nor read from the Miraculous spellbook. Trix. Trix, voiced by Charami Lee in the English version and William Corrin in the French version, is the Kwami of the Fox Miraculous, a necklace that grants the power of illusion, who habitually enables Alya to transform into Rena Rouge. Pollen. Pollen, voiced by Cassandra Lee Morris in the English version and Clara Soares in the French version, is the Kwami of the Bee Miraculous, a hair comb that grants the power of subjection. She previously enabled Chloé to transform into Queen Bee until she revealed her identity in the episode Queen Wasp Queen's Battle Part 2, and Ladybug deemed it unsafe to continue giving her the Bee Miraculous. She greets Chloé and other Kwamis in an overly formal royal manner. Chinese Zodiac Kwamis. There are a number of Kwamis that are based on the Chinese zodiac, including Mullo is the Kwami of the Mouse Miraculous, a pendant necklace that grants the power of multiplication. Her power manifests as multitude, which allows the user to create multiple copies of themselves as well as shrinking them. In Kwame Buster, Marinette temporarily uses the Mouse Miraculous to become Multimouse, and becomes many forms like Multifox, the fusion form of Marinette with both the Mouse and Fox Miraculous, Multicat, the fusion form of Marinette with both the Mouse and Cat Miraculous, and Multibug, the fusion form of Marinette with both the Mouse and Ladybug Miraculous. Master Fu remarks on how exceptionally physically and mentally strong Marinette is to have used so many Miraculouses at once. She will eventually enable Mylene to transform into a mouse-themed superheroine during Season 4. Stomp, voiced by Thierry Kazazian in the French version, is the Kwami of the Ox Miraculous, a nose jewel. Roar, voiced by Caroline Kumez in the French version, is the Kwami of the Tiger Miraculous, a panniest slave bracelet. Fluff, voiced by Ryan Bartley in the English version, and Céline Melal, the French version, is the Kwami of the Rabbit Miraculous, a pocket watch that grants the power of evolution. Her power manifests as Burrow, which allows the holder to create a portal that can travel through time. She enables Alexie's future self to transform into Bunnix. Fluff appears to be a reference to the White Rabbit from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, who also carries a pocket watch and obsesses over being late. Long, voiced by Marie Nonenmacher in the French version, is the Kwami of the Dragon Miraculous, a beaded choker that grants the power of perfection. His power manifests as elemental shapeshifting, allowing his holder to transform into wind, water, or lightning. He enables Kagami to transform into Yuko. He was also briefly used by Marinette to transform into Dragon Bug, the fusion form of Marinette with both the Dragon and Ladybug Miraculous. Sass, voiced by Ben Diskin in the English version and Alexander Nguyen in the French version, is the Kwami of the Snake Miraculous, an Ouroboros bracelet that grants the power of intuition. His power manifests as Second Chance, a power which enables the holder to travel back to a previously marked spot in time. He enables Luca to transform into Viperian. He was also briefly used by Adrien to transform into Aspic, and later into Snake Noir, the fusion form of Adrien with both the Snake and Cat Miraculous. Kalki, voiced by Denis Melody in the English version and Fanny Block in the French version, is the Kwami of the Horse Miraculous, a pair of glasses that grant the power of teleportation. Her power manifests as Voyage, which allows her wielder to open a portal that can travel through space. She enables Max to transform into Pegasus. Ziggy, voiced by Céline Melal in the French version, is the Kwame of the goat Miraculous, a pair of hair clips. Zapu, voiced by William Corrin in the French version, is the Kwame of the monkey Miraculous, a circlet that grants the power of jubilation. His power manifests as Uproar, a power which generates an object that can disrupt another's superpowers. He enables Kim to transform into King Monkey. Oriko is the Kwame of the rooster Miraculous, a thumb ring. Bark, voiced by Jessie Lambot in the French version, is the Kwame of the dog Miraculous, a collar necklace. Daisy, voiced by Tony Marat in the French version, is the Kwame of the pig Miraculous, a pearl anklet. Parisians. André Bourgeois. André Bourgeois, voiced by Joe Ochman in the English version and Gilbert Levy in the French version, is the mayor of Paris, Chloé's father, and owner of a large and luxurious hotel. He is prone to getting angry at anyone who wrongs his daughter and unprofessionally jumps to conclusions. Despite this, Mayor Bourgeois tends to learn from his mistakes and make things right for those he had wronged. In Maledictator, he is corrupted into the titular supervillain capable of compelling his victims into following his orders. In Heart Hunter: The Battle of the Miraculous Part 1, he and Audrey were akumatized again into one as Heart Hunter, a two-headed fusion of Maledictator and Style Queen who consumes love. Their transformation was undone when Chloé took Hawk Moth's deal. Audrey Bourgeois. Audrey Bourgeois is Chloé's unloving and harsh mother, who often forgets her name and calls her other names such as Casserole, Claudine, and Chlorine. She is the wife of André Bourgeois despite their frequent arguments and tendencies to be separated into whole new states. She is Paris Queen of Fashion and is very well known in the fashion industry. In Style Queen, she is akumatized into the titular villain with an intangible body of gold glitter who could turn people into gold statues with her scepter as well as teleport and move around in a puff of smoke. She is later akumatized along with her husband into Heart Hunter, a supervillain who could eat love. In this form, she could turn people into hearts by shooting beams from her eyes. Butler Jean. Butler Jean, voiced by Benjamin Diskin in the English version and Marshall Leminu in the French version, is a butler employed at Le Grand Paris. In Despair Bear, Butler Jean is akumatized by Hawk Moth into the supervillain Despair Bear, a doll-sized villain who has the ability to manipulate anyone he touches from within a small teddy bear named Mr. Cuddly, in which he controls. Jagged Stone. Jagged Stone, voiced by Lex Lang in the English version and Matthew Gexey in the French version, is a popular rock star. In Guitar Villain, he is corrupted by Hawk Moth into the titular supervillain capable of shooting energy waves with his guitar. In truth, it is revealed that he is the father of Luca and Juleka Couffaine. Fang. Fang is Jagged Stone's pet crocodile. When Jagged Stone is akumatized into Guitar Villain, Fang is transformed into a dragon that serves as Guitar Villain's mode of transportation. Manon Chamack. Manon, voiced by Stephanie Shea in the English version and Marina Nenmacher in the French version, is a little girl that Marinette occasionally babysits. She is the daughter of news reporter Nadja Chamack. In Puppeteer, she is akumatized into the titular supervillain capable of controlling her victims with her dolls. In Puppeteer 2, she is akumatized into the titular upgraded villain with the new ability to bring wax statues of several past akumatized people to life as her loyal minions. Nadja Chamack. Nadja Chamack, voiced by Sabrina Weiss in the English version and Jessie Lambot in the French version, is a TVI news reporter and the mother of Manon, whose catchphrase is "Don't be bemused, it's just the news." In Prime Queen, She is akumatized by Hawk Moth into the media-manipulating supervillain Prime Queen, a haughty reporter whose ability to teleport through television screens and posters. She creates a show to capture the two heroes, going to great lengths to prove that Ladybug and Cat Noir are truly in love. During the Heroes' Day episodes, Nadja is akumatized into Prime Queen the second time and is the one who broadcasts Hawk Moth's demands to Ladybug and Cat Noir. Roger Raincomprix. Roger Raincomprix, voiced by Christopher Corey Smith in the English version and Marshall Lemieux in the French version, is a police officer and Sabrina's father. In RogerCup, Roger is akumatized into the robotic police officer-themed supervillain RogerCup, who wants to bring justice to those who break the law after Mayor Bourgeois fires him for refusing to arrest Marinette when Chloé accused her of stealing her bracelet. In addition, his police car turns into a futuristic flying car. Vivica. Vivica, voiced by Morgan Barry in the English version, is Jagged Stone's old guitarist. In Desperada, she gets akumatized into Desperada, a Dia de los Muertos themed supervillain that can transform victims into stickers on her guitar case after Jagged Stone fires her for eating his cereal and drinking Fang's milk. Following Desperada's defeat, Jagged Stone rehires her under the condition that she follows his rules of working for him.